any comments, so I'm going to turn it right over to the superintendent so we can get started.
And I will turn it right over to DeVito for our elementary and secondary budget presentation.
Thank you, Dr. Gallagher. So we're going to start off with the elementary program. This was the presentation we were supposed to present at the board meeting on Tuesday, February 24th. That was canceled due to our blizzard. So we're going to do it now. So we're going to start with A2110, which is the general teaching and learning function that goes through the budget, and we're going to focus on general ed this evening. And what we're proposing is about a 1.7% increase budget to budget, right? The actual budget is what was voted and approved last year, which is what we're currently using for the current year, and we're asking for an increase of just shy of $300,000 for the programs that we're going to talk about in this slide here. So this proposed elementary program budget includes funding for the continuation of our current program, which includes the same number of sections in all 4 elementary schools. I know over the years there's been some fluctuation in the number of sections on grade levels at the different schools, but we're going to keep the same number as the current year. We also have an increase of 1 academic intervention services teacher. We usually call those an AIS teacher. So we're asking for 1 more, and the same number of English as a new language teacher. Instead of running Spanish as a cycle special, we're looking for a big change for next year. We're looking to do intensive language units as part of our Spirit curriculum, which is a curriculum that's also, run out of our library for 3 to 5. We're looking to add physical education for grades 3 to 5. So that's the trade-off there, is we're going to change the way we offer Spanish and language in a really interesting and creative way. We're excited about our program for next year for language, and we're going to add physical education for grades 3 to 5. We do have 2 teacher retirements with lower salary for vacancies, so some of the increases that we're talking about here are offset with those lower salary for the vacancies, and of course we have our contractual salary increases for staff. That's also included in that number. The proposed elementary program does include some code corrections over the summer. Even sometimes at the start of the school year, there are some changes in staff. They shift among schools, they shift among grades within a particular school, and so we need to do some corrections, and it's different from what we thought it was going to look like when we prepared the budget last year this time. Also in terms of the salaries that are charged to grants, in terms of maybe a percentage, we do some of those corrections because sometimes there are changes from when the budget's adopted to when the grants are approved, and so we have to fix that. All of the codes really remain stable, only some minor adjustments. So really the elementary program is basically the same, except for some of those additions that we talked about. And now let's talk about A2610, which is school library. And you see here a slight decrease in the elementary school library. And that's basically based on a reduction in the cost of school library. It's not staffing, that's what I want to say. It's just some other ancillary costs, and a reduction in guidance is based on some staffing changes in their salaries, not an FTE reduction. So I don't want anybody to be misled by that. Our budget calendar, we're in the tail end of our budget development. After this evening, we only have 1 more budget development meeting, which is on March 24th, and then we're going to talk about PPS. And then after our break, our spring break, we're going to adopt the budget on April 14th. Our budget vote is May 19th. It's always the 3rd Tuesday in May. And the week before is our budget hearing, and we always have a chance for people to come in and talk about what they like or maybe not like about what was adopted on April 14th, but there's no opportunity for change. So that's the elementary program. Would the board like a chance to ask any questions on the elementary program before we talk about secondary? I'll go right into it. Okay, now we're going to talk about our secondary program. Again, 82110 is teaching. So you see how these functions cut through the different grade levels, different locations, different buildings. And here we're focusing on the middle school and the high school. So you see here just a slight increase of about $120,000 or 0.5% increase in our teaching function. Occupational education, 82280, you see a large increase, and that's because what we're adding here is a new barbering program, on-site BOCES barbering program at the high school, and it's going to be run through BOCES, but it is going to be on-site at our high school, and so you see there an increase in the occupational education function of the budget. We're also going to be participating in a new co-enrollment program, which is a really interesting program where BOCES is working with the local colleges as a way of sponsoring. Dr. Alves, you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, so in effect, BOCES becomes the lead agency for all of our college classes at the high school, whether they're through Malloy or Farmingdale or Five Towns, all of the different partnerships we have. And the reason it's beneficial for us to do this through BOCES is that there will be no cost to parents. So students currently, if you take a co-enrolled course, say Malloy, parents have to pay $300 for that course. Because we do it through BOCES, just the cost structure will allow all of those courses to be free, which is really amazing for our community. There is a cost outlay in the first year, so we have to kind of put that money forward, but we get almost all of it back in aid in the second year. So the net cost of the district would be zero as well, which is great.
We also included the budget funding for a new Bloomberg lab for our business classes, and the funding we've included is for the terminals that we're going to have in a special designated space in the high school. I'm going to ask Dr. Smith to talk a little bit about this exciting new program.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. DeVito. The Bloomberg Lab is very exciting for our students. It is a real-world Bloomberg terminal, which businesses use in their industries for real-world data. It gives us a tremendous amount of exploration in that financial world for students. It will put students into a position where they're working in a live business atmosphere. That's the goal, to turn our business classes into a much more real-world setting. It's very exciting for our students. It will also be open to other classes, and we'll have the ability to do research in a lot of different areas, from healthcare to science to medicine to finance and all these other areas. So it's really exciting for our students. And again, part of the goal of the high school is to provide students with real-world experiences, and the Bloomberg Lab will certainly do that.
Thank you. We're also working with a potential donor, a foundation who may be able to support this Bloomberg Lab as well. We have that in the works. So we're excited about offering this new opportunity for our students. Included in the budget is, of course, some funding for replacements of retirees and contractual salary increases for staff. If you take a look at the high school and the middle school combined, and what we're looking at, we call secondary, we are seeing a net decrease or a reduction of about 1.8 FTE full-time equivalents. The elimination of a few teaching positions are based on the decrease in enrollment that we're seeing and offset with some increases in programming. So that's the net decrease, but we are seeing increases in science, art, and auto shop. So those programs are growing, and we're excited about that. And it helps to offset some of the decreases based on enrollment, because our enrollment at the secondary level is significantly lower projected for next year than the current year. We do see some code corrections based on some staff shifts among schools and updates to percentages of staff salaries included in the grants. And all other codes really remain stable with just some minor adjustments. I'd like to talk a little bit about the school library. You see here a decrease of about 5.6%. And this is based on a staff retirement at the high school and a lower cost replacement. That's the big driver in the decrease there, not a decrease in library program. Again, I like to emphasize that. Guidance, you see a slight increase there. Co-curricular, you see somewhat of a large increase in the co-curricular, 2850, and athletics, and I'd like to talk a little bit about why. We have two new clubs, the guitar club and the rock band club at the middle school. The elimination of two clubs, study club and athletes helping athletes. So you see really it's kind of a wash at the middle school. And, we always have different types of interest year to year in our clubs. So it's not uncommon that we take a couple of new clubs and substitute them for some clubs that are not as popular. Also, a fishing club is replacing the anime club at the high school. In athletics, we had the addition of one field hockey coach at the middle school, the elimination of the head and assistant gymnastics coaches at the middle school. Again, as we look at our programs and the codes, we always look to see if we are going to increase something, is it possible to self-fund it because maybe the level of need and the level of interest isn't there. And there's an example of we want to add to the middle school program, but we know that there isn't the same interest for middle school gymnastics, so we're going to eliminate those coaches. We have the addition of the varsity game cheer assistant coach at the high school, addition of a varsity girls wrestling assistant coach at the high school, and some additional funding for increase in supervision at games, as well as funding for new gymnastics equipment such as balance beam, field hockey goals, swimming, timing system consoles, touch pads, and some more weight room supplies. There is an increase in several other codes in the athletic program to safeguard against possible cost increases, because we have been seeing cost increases happening across the board, with buying some of this new equipment and some new supplies. We want to make sure that we have enough funding. Not to go on the calendar again, but that is our secondary program. So if the board members have any comments or questions on the elementary program proposal or the secondary program proposal, I'm happy to respond to them. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Anybody have a question? Go ahead.
First of all, thank you so much for that presentation. Mr. DeVito, as always, you always present everything. You're very transparent with how things are changing and what our students need. Can I ask you, just out of curiosity, do you find that there might be any type of risks associated with this budget at all?
Well, there aren't really any.
I'm thinking
Well,
external funding.
Sure. Not so much that, we still don't know what the final state budget is, so we're relying on the governor's proposal. We're hoping that there's not going to be any risk with that 1% increase in foundation aid, which is about $200,000. So we're hoping for that, but we still have a few weeks left before we get any final state numbers. I guess the biggest risk is, I would say, energy prices, energy costs. We talked about facilities back in January, and we did have some cost escalation factors for that. But with the world being so unstable right now, that is a risk, that perhaps we didn't budget enough of a cushion, and we have to keep our buildings running and operating, and that may turn out to be more costly than we projected. Aside from that, I don't really see any other risks. I think that would be the largest. There are some supply chain. Again, we talked about that when we did technology, and we're doing our best to, get our orders in, do the purchasing where we can. The board was kind enough to allow a budget transfer at a previous meeting, so that we can get ahead of some of the purchasing with technology to try to get ahead of some of those potential cost increases that we may see in the summer or in the fall. But besides that, I don't really see any other risks.
No, and I know that you've always been very good with ensuring that we've always had enough money to cover all of our costs. You kind of read my mind. I am very concerned about the energy pricing costs and the supply and demand chain. But thank you, Mr. DeVito. I am very excited about a Bloomberg lab for our high school. I think that's going to be a wonderful addition. I love how Dr. Smith mentioned that it's going to really provide our students with the real world settings. I think that's what our students need, especially in this day and age where AI is taking over so many of those positions and businesses want people with experience. This will help our students know, wait a minute, is this really something that I want to do? Is is something I want to look for in college because they're gonna have to start looking for experience. I think, oh, there is one more question about BOCES. Dr. Gallagher, the BOCES taking over the courses, so will the students still have the choices and options to take the same courses?
Yes, so if BOCES, if a college, for example, decides not to go with BOCES, we will have to make some decisions about whether we can continue to offer that class, because that parents would have to pay for. If it were me, I would say I want to go with the class that I didn't have to pay for. But BOCES, this is a little bit still in process, so we'll have to see how it all plays out. But they have assured us that they have almost all of their local colleges on board.
That was my next question. Will colleges in New York State take these courses?
Oh, yeah.
The credits?
So this is actually more the way it works in the rest of the country. New York State was a little behind on this, and the governor just passed a regulation in the fall that is, enticing districts to create these kind of cooperatives and colleges. And, a lot of our local colleges are looking for enrollment, so they want to cooperate with something that will be this big.
Wonderful, thank you. And I also just want to mention on the elementary, I'm very happy to hear that grades 3 through 5 will be getting the extra physical education class.
Yeah, and I have to tell you,
So
we're going to work with the spirit teachers over the summer to create the language culture units, but I was telling some of my colleagues, I was playing around with some language acquisition software. There are different things out there. And I got lost yesterday for about 45 minutes teaching myself Mandarin. It was so much fun. Through like a game, it was really great. And native speakers. So, there's a lot of different ways to introduce students to language. And we felt that doing it once every 6 days for 3 years is really a great way to learn language. A more intensive kind of approach is better and more fun. And kids always want more PE.
And they need it. All right, thank you, those are my questions.
Dr.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. DeVito. I just had 2 questions. One, what's going to be the status of summer school this summer?
We will still run summer school this summer.
Middle school section also?
We'll have to discuss that. I mean, that's a little bit less critical, but as long as students still have to pass regents to graduate, I think we'd be foolish not to run the summer program.
And will that decision in middle school be made before the budget's adopted?
Sure, it's a minor cost, but we can certainly do it.
And it's probably me, but could somebody please tell me the piece of financial literacy in the school district in terms of, I'm always told, I've certainly been told by the last 4 or 5 years, yes, there are courses, yes, kids to get exposed to financial literacy in terms of credit and bank accounts and all that kind of stuff. Where does that fall in the curriculum for student language?
Every 8th grade student takes career and financial management. We changed that 2 years ago, and we're a forward-thinking district in that respect. The state's new graduation requirements are requiring everyone to have that course. We put it in as an 8th grade elective because we felt like that was a really important course for students to start their high school career with. So every single student in the district gets that.
So it's a mandatory elective.
Correct.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. DeVito.
Anybody else? Okay. What's happening on my agenda? Sorry, guys. Okay, I think we're moving on to student organization announcements.
I'm representing student organization today, and as a result of the storm, there was many practices for class Olympics that were canceled, and the class Olympics will be held March 20th. However, in a while, for us to add some events, we're going to be doing a basketball knockout, all the fan favorite events, from musical chairs to hungry others. We're looking forward to faculty involvement, and we're having a spirit week for students that will dress up appropriately. In addition, we have some surprises for the students. To make it more fun, Dr. Moran purchased a championship belt, and he's going to give it to the advisor as opposed to a little trophy. This Class Olympics championship belt will be moved from advisor to advisor each year, and the students will be able to take pictures with it when they win. Student organization is continuing to meet with Kyle Swan to discuss food in the cafeteria. He has been absolutely wonderful and reached out to have another meeting with the students, which we've set up post Class Olympics next week. Regarding our blood drives, we had one of our most successful blood drives ever, with 60 plus donations. We have one more blood drive that will be later on in the year, and it's been wonderful that students have been able to save so many lives. Students are unbelievably pumped to come in at 6 o'clock in the morning to dedicate their hallways for Class Olympics. For parents, definitely be able to see the decorations if they come to the evening event, which is the theme night, which starts at 6 p.m. next Friday. And that is all.
Thank you. Thank you.
That sounds great about the blood drive. Wonderful.
If you need a person from the board to help taste food, good job. Thank you.
Okay, questions and comments from the public on tonight's agenda only? Do we have any? No? Okay. Treasurer's report for January 2026. And approval of minutes for executive session and regular meetings of February 10th, 2026.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Mr. Pinto?
Yes.
Doc?
I vote yes.
And Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
And I vote yes. And now we're moving on to presentation of the superintendent.
I'd ask the board to consider item 1, certificate of personnel.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Pinto?
I vote yes.
Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Doc?
I vote yes.
And Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
Item 2, non-certificated personnel.
Motion. Second.
No discussion on that? Go ahead.
I just want to congratulate Mr. Scully, who's up for appointment. It's nice when a homegrown individual advances within the district. You certainly have the local knowledge, and you certainly have the respect, not only of the people of buildings and grounds, but of administrators and most everybody you work with. So we're grateful to welcome you to this position, and we expect great things from you.
I actually want to second comment by Doc. We were a few years back, Brendan and I were speaking about a lot of things, how much he cares about the district. The time has come. You look really good in a suit. So, but we're all looking forward to you keeping this place being the best it can be. And we thank you for your consistent dedication to the district. Congrats and keep it going.
You know you're going to do a wonderful job for us, so thank you.
I think we can all agree. Thank you so much. Okay, Mr. Pinto?
Yes.
Ms. Conway?
Yes.
Doc?
Yes.
Ms. Belsey?
Yes.
And I vote yes.
And I-
Congratulations.
Congratulations. And I'd ask the board to consider items 3 through 15.
Motion made.
Second.
Any discussion on that? No? Mr. Pinto?
I just want to make a
Yes, go ahead.
thank you for the donations as always. We definitely appreciate the donations. I vote yes.
Okay, Ms. Conway?
I vote yes, and I also thank them for these donations. You know I say this a lot, but we really do have a very special community because people are always so generous towards our students. So, thank you.
Oh, can I make one more comment? I apologize.
No.
No.
Oh.
Of course, go ahead.
School calendar is on this, so everyone who's asking about the school calendar, thank you for everyone who's working with it, working on the calendar.
Yeah, we can plan our vacations then.
Yes.
Okay, I think it was up to Doc.
I vote yes.
Ms. Belsey?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, Board of Ed, additional new or old business. I think Doc has one. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to encourage everybody to get out this weekend to see Shrek. It's going to be put on at the high school. Please check the website for the times and location, and I'm sure if it follows in the tradition of the high school musical, you will not be disappointed. So we encourage you to come out and to bring your children and to have a good time.
Yeah, please share it. These kids have worked. I mean, I've seen their schedule. A lot of my daughter's friends are in the play, and it's absurd the amount of practice they've put in. So it's probably going to be quite a show. So I agree. Go ahead.
I just want to congratulate the athletes that were celebrated as sports awards. It was a very good evening. It was nice to see the kids from the winter sports receive their awards, and it was a good turnout and a wonderfully successful season. So congratulations to those students, and great gratitude to the parents and to the coaches for a good season. Thank you.
Go ahead.
I just have, I don't really have any questions. I want to piggyback a little bit on what Doc Brooks said about our sports awards. The high school auditorium was packed with students and parents and our coaches. And just like Doc said, they really put in a lot of time, and you can see a lot of care. So it really was a wonderful night. Mr. Epstein did an amazing job organizing it as he usually does. And staying on sports, I know that we received, our two hockey teams received the donation so they can go see a game on Friday. I don't know who donated it, but I just wanted to give a shout out to whoever did that, because that's extremely generous. I'd also like to tell you, if you're not doing anything this Saturday, 4 o'clock Northwell, our high school hockey team is playing, so come on down, let's do it on our beach. That's it.
Always a hockey mom, Manny.
Always.
Always. Real quick,
Always a hockey mom, always a hockey mom.
always a hockey mom. Quick question, not sure if it's from Mr. DeVito or Dr. Gallagher. So we've been seeing in the news, and some parents have brought awareness, and residents have brought some awareness on the state bringing up a possible property tax exemption for disabled, 100% disabled veterans. So I'm not exactly sure where the state is in the process, but I'm wondering if that's something that we will be exploring.
We will. In fact, we've asked our legal counsel to put together some materials so that we can decide on a resolution, whether it's mandated or not. I had a sense from before that it's something we would support doing, so we'll look into how we can.
Anybody else? I think we're good. Okay. Announcements. Oh, sorry. Questions from the public. Do we have any? No, we don't have it. Okay. Announcements. Long Beach Classroom Teachers Association.
Karen Boone, LBCTA. Thank you, Mr. DeVito, for the presentation, as usual.
Thank you.
Welcome and to your new job, and looking forward to working with you, Mr. Scully, as we always do. So congratulations. Also, just want to mention, I'm just getting back from Albany, where we were lobbying this morning with our legislators for foundation aid. And it does sound very promising, and everyone we spoke to was asking for more. So I'm hoping that they're not lying to us. And looking forward to some great shows this weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Administrative supervisory. Yes, thank you.
Again, thank you, Mr. DeVito, for the presentation. And we'd also like to congratulate you. Looking forward to working with you and having a great experience. Thank you.
Thank you. LBSCA, do we have anyone?
Congratulations.
Thank you. PTA?
No announcements.
No announcements. Thank you. Okay. That was it. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Aye.
Good night.
Yeah.